Our great pleasure to welcome in great Suns broadcaster Tom Leander. Tom, how are you doing this morning?
What's up, Vic? What's up, Tim?
Tuesdays with Tom. What's
Kind of
happening?
like it, right? All right.
Well, I'm wondering when we're going to get Sammy's show. When is Sammy going to have his own show, man?
Well,
that guy's a stud.
It's
my guy.
Yeah, it's coming. Sammy's everybody's guy, Tom.
Yeah, he's a very likable dude.
Yeah, and he's wearing a Suns polo, so he's representing. He's wearing your colors, so there you go.
Even better.
All right,
Even better.
so let's talk about the vibage of the Suns coming off their trip in China. A lot of people have been talking about it. What do you think about it? What do you think it's going to translate to on the basketball court?
Man, it's a huge breath of fresh air for everybody, especially the broadcasters. We all know what it was like last year and really the last couple of years. So the style of play, the leadership, Jordan Knott is my guy. He's next to Sammy Savolka. But I'm a huge fan of Jordan Knott, man. He's just a genuine, down-to-earth, focused, laser-focused guy who's no nonsense, but also has a really cool demeanor about him, especially for a first-year head coach. Seems to be, very relaxed when you talk to him. And Brian Gregory has just opened the doors for all of us. I mean, it's totally different. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I've been really impressed with, Brian Gregory's vision. He's basically carried out everything that he said he wanted to do early on leading into the season. And like I said, Jordan Knott and his style. I mean, you guys are seeing it. I'm reading it from all the fans, too, and their reactions to the first few preseason games with all the toughness on defense, the grit, the effort, and then the motion offense, guys cutting along the baseline, just constant movement, moving the ball up the floor, playing with pace, playing with fun. I mean, the celebration after the Jordan Goodwin shot in the first game of that the Chinese series was just, seeing these guys elevate their game and elevate their emotions already in the preseason, it's just it's going to make it a lot more fun to watch and enjoyable to follow.
Yeah, it's only preseason, but apparently Jordan Goodwin developed a three-point shot since the last time we saw him because he knocked down 4 in China. Hey, Tom, we don't know how any of this is going to translate into enough wins to maybe put yourself in contention for a play-in spot or better in the playoffs. But if I had to throw it to you this way, if blank happens, the Suns can win 40-plus games and contend for the postseason. What do you think?
Can I have a couple of blanks?
Yeah, you got it. Start shooting blanks.
All right, blank number 1 is Mark Williams plays 60 to 65 games and is everything that the front office thinks he's going to be, a top 5 center in the NBA. I mean, that we saw what he did against us last year. It's just everybody knows he just has to be healthy, and he's been on the schedule of just work and rehab in the gym, in the weight room. So I can't wait to see him on the court. And the way that they're protecting the basket, blocking shots, he's one of the best rim protectors in the league when he's healthy. So that's probably number 1. He's probably the big wild card. And I think, amongst the coach, the GM, the players, everybody around the organization too, if Devin Booker is not just all-star Devin, but goes back to MVP type player Devin, where he's a top 5 MVP candidate, if those two things happen, the Suns definitely make the playoffs.
That's interesting. I want to talk about Jaylen Green and what we might expect when we do see him. He's obviously a very gifted offensive performer. There's some holes in his game as well. What do you think this stop in Phoenix is going to mean for him? What do you think he's going to look like?
That is a huge mystery, Vic. That's what everybody's wondering, and we haven't been able to see him in training camp yet. Obviously, he's been working on that hamstring, so that was the question. As the Suns acquired him from Houston, we already saw kind of how the wonkiness of the Bradley Beal in the backcourt. But in watching practice, and Jaylen was very active in the first couple of weeks of training camp, it was really fun to watch. And Ott will talk about this a lot, just getting him downhill, and he's unstoppable. Once he turns that corner or you get him out on the break, he's a different kind of a player out there. And what he brings, he's going to light up the arena, too, with his electrifying dunks and just his athleticism. But again, how is it going to work out in the half court? What's it going to be like late in the fourth quarter? You kind of look at what happened with the Cleveland Cavaliers last year when they had Garland and Donovan Mitchell. They staggered those two guys. They didn't play a whole lot together on the floor except to start the game and toward the end. So I don't think you're going to see as much of Booker and Jaylen Green on the court together as you might imagine. But certainly that's the question in the last 5 minutes of the game. How are they going to work that out when the game slows down?
You know, Tom, you talked a little bit about Jordan Ott. You mentioned Brian Gregory briefly. I just want to kind of have you expound on that a little bit. The differences in the vibe and the way that the Suns are doing business now under these two new leaders. Brian Gregory, obviously the GM, and Jordan Ott, obviously the head coach. But I don't know if you have a story or two or an anecdote about why things are different, how they're going to be different, and how that ultimately may make for a better basketball product on the floor.
You know, Tim, I can only speak to, as a broadcaster, just that door being kicked open. I mean, they're just both open books. They're inquisitive. They're asking us as broadcasters, hey, what can we do for you? How can we help educate you? How can we help give you access? And then, you know, we're going to have to wait and see what transpires on the court. But for us, it's just been the personality, the genuine openness of them, again, allowing us to, you know, watch practices, be up close, talk to assistant coaches, have more access to players. Those kind of things weren't happening for us before. So this is really awesome because we're going to be able to tell more stories and have more genuine information on the players. And it's just going to be, they're a lot easier to root for. I mean, this whole group, too, I can tell with the personalities. I mean, Kobe Brea's got a big personality, Malawach as well. Dylan Brooks he's such a fascinating human being. We had a great time with him at Media Day. That was the first time I ever spoke to him in person. And it's awesome to have him on the Suns team, and then just to kind of hear and see his vibe. He talked about probably the one story, Tim, and I'm not sure if you've heard this, but when Booker brought everybody up to Flagstaff, Dylan Brooks said that was really his opportunity to introduce himself as a person to the rest of the players, and said, hey, this is who I am, guys, but when I step onto the court, I'm a different animal, and things are going to be intense. I'm going to try to get all of you to join me in playing hard every single second, try to intimidate the opponent. And he talked about, you know, his dad, who was a big Mike Tyson fan. And, you know, Tom Chambers asked him, what is with this glare? Why do you stare at everybody? He goes, well, I got that from my dad because that's how Mike Tyson walked into the ring to begin the match before they, you know, started the fight. And he basically said it was a stare down. And if the other guy looked away, you knew you had him. And once he told that story, I'm like, man, okay. That's how this guy is dialed in. And I'm really excited to see him on the court. Yeah, he's going to get tons of fouls and technicals. He's going to be ejected. But, he's our villain now.
Exactly. And you remember how Phoenix went nuts for Raja Bell, especially when he clotheslined Kobe Bryant. I think this is going to be a love affair that way exceeds that, Tom.
That's a great one, Vic. That's really good. I mean, Raja's a perfect example of somebody who came over and had his issues with the current Suns on the roster at that time, and then all of a sudden, man, he becomes their protector, and they're basically, the guy that puts the fight on the court every single night. And there's no night off for Dylan Brooks. But he's not one of those guys who like, man, I really didn't see anything but energy from Dylan tonight. That's not going to happen, and that's infectious.
Yeah, no truth to the reports that Dylan Brooks went up to Flagstaff and told his teammates, this is the first chance you guys can get to see me and know who I am. And then he proceeded to punch every one of them in the face. That did not happen.
That did not happen.
They may have been fearful of that, and that's what it's like being an opponent when you go up against him. You're like, man, is that guy going to punch me in the face?
Right.
And that can work to your advantage. But no, he did not punch any of his teammates, and they have embraced him.
All right, finally, Luka's expected to play tonight for the Lakers. That should be exciting. What are you looking for tonight in the last preseason game?
Well, I don't know if we're going to see our main guys. It was such a long flight back, and
right.
Booker and those guys have put in a lot of minutes already on the floor. So I expect to see, again, more of a Kobe Brea or a Malawach or some of the other guys. Jordan Goodwin, again, like you said, Tim Ring, he's been really good for us. Even like Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal. I'm not sure if we're going to see some of those veterans. But that's what I love about preseason. I mean, that's what I'm excited about. I think that's what fans want to see as well. We'll see the rest of the guys during the regular season, and you guys go through it with the Cardinals fighting for roster spots. Again, there's 11 new players on the Suns roster right now, and they're fighting for spots, fighting for even spots on the G League team. I think that's what we're going to see from the Suns, a lot of different rotations. But yeah, first chance to see Luka, the new Luka, the trimmed down Luka. Obviously, LeBron's going to be out for at least another month with the sciatica problem. But that Lakers team, that's another wild card. Are they going to be world beaters? Or are they just going to really struggle with LeBron and, trying to cater to him. That's going to be a fascinating storyline all season long. But, anytime you throw it up and you got some young kids that are playing hard and Luka's appearance, I'm looking forward to it tonight.
Great stuff, Tom. Always appreciate your time. Have a great game tonight, my man.
Thanks, Tom.
All right.
See you, buddy. Tom
you,
Leander, Suns broadcaster, joining us. Yeah, that's a really good point. If you're heading out to the game tonight, don't expect to see much of Devin Booker. That play flight just happened not that long ago.
And they obviously they need to cater to the Chinese fans.
Right.
So those guys played a lot for preseason games as well. No, you know what? I'm fine with 35 minutes out of Malawatch tonight.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather watch that than 35 minutes of Devin Booker.
I totally agree with you. We'll see how that works out.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.